Williams veers left, pulls up, looking for the lead, and got it. Jalen Williams, 2 seconds, 1:11, 1:09. Now SGA probing, piercing, spinning, hanging for the lead, and SGA knocks it down. The Thunder finally get the defensive stop, and SGA puts them in front.
I'm Kenrich Williams. You're listening to Topic Thunder.
And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Topic Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Hunsinger at Thunder Chats. We're part of the Believe Network, and this podcast is brought to you by the good folks at the FanDuel Sportsbook website. NFL season started back this weekend, Alex, and fantasy football is up and running. I know a few people have hit some bets. I was not so fortunate. I had a few things that missed a little bit, so no parlays hit as of now. But if you are the type of person that wants to place a bet on a parlay in the NFL season, WNBA, or MLB as it's rounding into playoffs, be sure to use FanDuel Sportsbook. And Alex, how are you today, sir? It's been a long time, man.
It has been a very long time, man. Like I've been jonesing to get back on the mic and talk a little bit of Thunder basketball. I mean, we've had small trickles here and there of news, some of it good, some of it bad. But I'm ready for September 29th, baby. September 29th is media day. I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's Monday. So I'm pretty sure the Friday probably before that, the Thursday or Friday before that will be the Sam Presti, season opening presser. And so we're getting there, man. We are, what is today? The 9th. So we're a month, less than a month away from the first preseason game, which is October 5th, I believe.
That is
crazy. Man, it's moving quick. It's moving quick.
I know it.
And we're at that point. We're at that point in the year where, because we have football on, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, our collective sports watching or whatever is amped up because now we have something to watch. Some of us aren't, that heavy into baseball. And so when football season rolls around, we can start watching that. And then, you get a couple weeks into football and then boom, basketball.
Yeah,
baby.
That's wild, man. I know, it's been 3 months. It doesn't feel like it's been 3 months, but it has been 3 months. And it's been a very long and slow 3 months, but also you putting that into perspective, we're less than 3 weeks away from training camp kicking off that did not even compute in my head. So like you were saying with football, starting up recently, as soon as we was done with as soon as we won the championship, as soon as the parade happened, draft happened, summer league happened, as soon as that happened, my entire focus went straight to fantasy football. And I was prepping to dominate all my fantasy football leagues. And hey, the drafts have happened. First week's in the book. I had a crazy sweat last night. Shout out to Roma Dunzy and Justin Jefferson for getting it done in multiple leagues for me. But hey, the drafts have happened. The preparation's done. My team is here. So when the Thunder season rolls back around, my focus will 100% be there once again. And Alex, like I said, first of all, I want to apologize to the listeners, for our irregularities. Obviously, there's not as much going on at this time, so we've had to get creative. And it's fun to get creative, but the thing about getting creative is you have to have multiple people on the podcast to achieve that. And we're all grown men, we have families, we have jobs, we have busy lives, so it's hard to get multiple of us on here at certain points in times. But we're going to, especially with the season approaching, we're going to do our best to try to get back to a flow and regular schedule of twice a week. And that is our promise to you. So since I've dropped the ball the past couple of weeks, I'm going to kick it off to Alex. I'm putting myself in timeout. I'm letting Alex host this podcast.
No. So I mean, of course, Dylan is usually the host, but there have been some things that have happened in the NBA sphere that is Thunder adjacent, maybe not necessarily Thunder directly adjacent, but it does involve teams that we have a little bit of stock in. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up of course, was the thing that popped off. Was it like 5 days ago? Like
Yeah.
was it last Friday or what?
Yeah, it
Last
was like
Thursday,
Thursday or Friday.
where so the Kawhi Leonard situation. So Pablo Torres, does he work for the Athletic
No, he used to work for ESPN. Now I think he's just like
or Ringer?
freelance.
Is he freelancing? Okay. So Pablo Torres, he brought in that scathing report about the Clippers possibly circumventing the salary cap by having one of their sponsors or one of the companies that used to be a sponsor for them, basically pay Kawhi Leonard $28 million for a no-show job. And so where that kind of relates, and so I just want to kind of explain it as far as like cap mechanics and things like that. So where that kind of relates is you can get a team, if a team is able to do something like that, they can basically promise a player, hey, we can get you a max level contract, or you can get paid like a max level player, but within the team and within the salary cap, we want to go ahead and hold you at this amount. And the amount is usually a lot lower than what the max is. But the circumvention happens where that other company, that sponsor, whoever, is able to provide that player with an extra amount, an extra, set of salary, to go ahead and get his number up to where it would be for max. And so it helps the team out because the team on the salary cap sheet, doesn't have, extra money being paid to just one player. And then it helps the player out because hell, they get paid extra, they get paid to not do anything. And we all know Kawhi Leonard loves to not do anything from time to time. So yeah, man. So I mean, it's something that the NBA itself is investigating, and it's something that the NBA does not want one of its teams to be seen doing this. The NBA has been one of those teams that has been rocked by scandals. Over the past 20 years, you have, of course, the Malice in the Palace. You have the, Tim Donaghy reffing scandal that happened, about a decade ago. And so the NBA has done everything it can to, stay away from those types of things. You've had the betting scandals that have happened over the last couple of seasons, with players like Jonte Porter, players like, who is it on the Miami Heat?
Terry Rozier.
Terry Rozier, yeah, that he's still going through that. And so, and
Malik
Beasley, Malik Beasley. So, the NBA has always tried to go ahead and stay away from that limelight. And this kind of puts it back in there. So I believe it was 2000. The Minnesota Timberwolves tried to do something with Joe Smith to circumvent the salary cap rules back then. So basically what happened was, Joe Smith, they didn't have his bird rights, so they couldn't sign him to a huge contract. So they put it in, and this is where they made their huge mistake, is they put it in writing. So basically they told Joe Smith to, I believe it was, he would take on a series of like 1-year contracts worth very low. And then once the team would have gotten the bird rights, they would have paid him that huge amount that he would have gotten from another team. And so NBA caught wind of it. Unfortunately for the Timberwolves, it was put into writing, and so they found that email or that document, and they came down on them hard. They basically reneged the contract for Joe Smith. I think they penalized them with 3 first-round picks that they couldn't use 3 first-round, or it was 5 originally, and then it became 3, and then they fined them like $3.5 million. And so in today's NBA, you could. If the NBA were to come down hard on the Clippers, if they were to find some wrongdoing, I'm thinking probably $10 million. I'm thinking maybe the loss of a couple draft picks. They've traded away all their draft picks, so whatever they have in the future, that may be at risk. But I think the biggest thing on here could be the possibility of Kawhi Leonard's contract being negated and him becoming a free agent and no longer being able to sign with the Clippers. So how does that affect the Thunder? We own their 2026 draft pick. We own their 2027 draft pick. And so, if the team goes into the tank in these next couple of seasons, we could have some very, very, very valuable draft picks.
That'd be nice, man. Hey, we always like to fantasize about having the top players. So, maybe some AJ Devanza, little Cameron Boozer action.
Hey, my wet dream has always been winning the championship and then in the draft getting the number 1 pick. That's always been my wet dream.
It's like I don't even care who it is. Just like let it happen. Like that'd be really cool to see happen. Be unprecedented even. So yeah, no, it's actually insane. And I saw an NBA Central earlier. Now that story has happened, a lot of other things about Kawhi and Uncle Dennis and how they have dealt with things come out. And so apparently there was the star.com, which I guess is a Toronto-based site, talked about Kawhi's camp's demands for the Raptors in the 2019 free agency. It was a trade for Paul George, an extra $10 million in sponsorship income, bluntly stating we don't want to do anything, partial ownership of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then ownership stakes in other companies affiliated with the MLSE. So, like, again, like all those things, like, sure, like trade for Paul George, whatever. The rest of that list is things that you can't legally do within the salary cap. Like, those are just extra avenues of money that, like, you know, you can't account for in the salary cap. So, yeah, it's wild, man, because Kawhi is so quiet. You wouldn't think about him, like, being a part or complicit in any of those things, but like now that's coming out, it's like
Kawhi's against.
Yeah, it's like how far back has this gone? Is this why San Antonio was so quick to like get rid of him because he started asking for this stuff? Like I don't know, man. It's wild.
It might be, and it's you know it's always about who you surround yourself with, and from the time we've heard the name Uncle Dennis, it's been associated with. This guy's a little bit shady. This guy's a little bit shisty. This guy is, you know, always trying to do like backdoor deals and backroom deals. And so, you know, it's coming to light. And here's the thing. And this is not just for sports. This is for anything in life. Once your value starts to go down and what you're worth is no longer the same amount as So what you're putting out is no longer the same amount of what you're worth, then people start to come after you. And so Kawhi, of course, great basketball player, finals MVP 2 times, you know, 2 championships with different franchises. But he's gotten to the point now where like he's just stealing money basically. Like he comes in, he plays 60 games at most, usually about 30. You know, he's always hurt and he's always looking out for himself. And there's times where he's just like basically saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do my own rehab. You know, don't worry about me. And he's still getting paid, you know, 40, 50, $60 million a season. And so eventually there comes a point where somebody, whether it's within the organization, whether it's a hater, whether it's Paul George, you know, somebody says something to somebody else and that somebody else starts to investigate and starts to peel the layers of the onion back and seeing what comes out. And this is what's come out. And I'm pretty sure like the Uncle Dennis stuff and, you know, those types of things, a lot of people knew about those, but they just kept it on the hush hush. And so now it's kind of a situation where, you know, once the dam has broken, everything's kind of starting to, you know, rush out and be known publicly.
Yeah, it's wild. And like Pablo did a good job of releasing it at a timely spot where like nothing else was going on. So it was like, it wasn't a slow news day, like, you know, just news dump. Like it was like, no, everybody's going to be talking about this. And like, it caught like wildfire, man.
And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And it's also a situation where Palmer happens to be the richest owner in sports, or richest owner in the NBA at least. And just like anything else, if you're on top and somebody can topple you down, somebody will topple you down. Somebody will do something to bring you down, even if it's just a notch. And so, you know, one of the things that Pablo Torres said, or one of the things that were said, was the fact that, you know, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the small market Oklahoma City Thunder, have had issues with the bigger markets kind of throwing their weight around. And so, you know, this is a type of situation where if Oklahoma City would have gotten wind of it, they would have definitely, you know, ratted on them, because it's a competitive balance type thing. You know, if you are allowing a big market team to do things like this, then you might as well just have like a 5 or 6 team league, and that's about it. So yeah, man, it's something that we need to keep an eye on. It's something that the NBA is investigating. I wonder how long this investigation is going to go on. Steve Ballmer has already done some damage control or tried to do some damage control by going on ESPN on SportsCenter. Yeah, I was caught, and let me tell you, man, the more he spoke, I was like, this. You need to shut up. Like one of the things about business is, hey, if you don't have to say anything, don't say anything. Like just shut up. And he just, if you want to go ahead and kind of blame it on you got conned, and the other organization was the one that were the con man. You put in $50 million into that organization, into that company, into that business, and so that doesn't look good on your end, because that $50 million, if you take off $28 million of it, that's the $28 million that goes to Kawhi. And so, business stuff that I don't understand too much of, but at the same time, I do understand, circumvention. I do understand, like, teams will do what they have to do to stay on top, even though the Clippers have never gone on top. Like, teams will do what they have to do to stay competitive.
Right.
So these are just, if you're not cheating, you're not trying type thing. And so they got caught. And so it'll be interesting to see what the NBA does to them.
Yeah, and then I'll close it with this. Tom Haberstroh kind of posted an article talking about possible punishments for the Clippers, talking about how the league could basically void Kawhi's contract, making him an unrestricted free agent. Mm-hmm. And he said, you thought the Warriors getting Durant in 2016 because of a cat spike was unfair. Imagine if the Oklahoma City Thunder get Kawhi Leonard for $8.5 million. No, it wouldn't. It would, especially now. Happen, especially now, like the Thunder would never have anything to do with that. So,
I mean, let me tell you, man. Like, we look at this and we say, "Ooh, this would be bad for the Clippers." Would it really?
Yeah, no. It kind of be get out of jail free card.
Exactly. If you're able to void his contract, and yeah, the pick stuff in the future, it may affect them, and they won't have any picks to trade and stuff like that. I get that. But if you're able to wipe off 40, 45, 50 million from your cap, and then, once he goes, that James Harden is next. James Harden is not going to stick around to be in a situation where, it's something that he thought it was going to be, and then it changes mid-flight. He's never very good at that. And so if he leaves, then that team's going to have buku money for free agency 2026, and 2026 is supposed to be a pretty big year for free agency. So maybe in the back of their mind, they're like, it may not be the worst thing if Kawhi's contract gets voided.
Yeah, that'd be wild. The bad guys always win at that point. So
there you go. Freaking villains. Yeah. But yeah, so do you have anything? Any last thoughts on that?
No. I mean, I still don't fully understand like all the ins and outs and the idiosyncrasies of what's going on, but at the end of the day, it's just Ballmer tried to cheat the system. He got caught, and now there's going to be consequences.
Yep. And I do want to add one more thing to this, because when you go on NBA Facebook, especially after something like this comes out, just because if the NBA comes down hard on the Clippers, they're not going to, retract the trade from 2019. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will not be going back to the Clippers. Paul George will not be going back to Oklahoma City. That will not happen. So please don't tin hat this and think that, the championship.
Yeah, they got to avoid the championship. Get out of here.
Never that. But still, it's kind of funny to see that on Facebook and stuff like that. I think I saw it on Twitter too.
Matt said, "Okay, that's why the punishment has to be well-rounded. Give the Clippers a salary cap penalty where they can't sign free agents so easy. Yeah, that'd be nice. Take their picks away and give them salary cap penalty."
It won't happen because that'll be very difficult to enforce. But yeah, that would be the penalty.
Like at that point, it would be hard for them to pay for their new stadium.
Yeah, I mean, Ballmer's worth multi billions.
I said hard, not like impossible.
He'll be fine. He'll be okay. So just gonna move on to bad news for the Clippers, but also a little bit of bad news for the Thunder. We got the news.
Annoying news.
I think it was the same day. Yeah, I think annoying news that Thomas Sorber signed up to be the sacrificial lamb for this year, the sacrificial rookie, to miss out on his entire rookie
We're not
year.
the Pacers. Don't put that evil on us.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, he tore his ACL in training. And so we got the news from the Thunder that he will be out for the entire season. And so this is the third rookie out of the last 4 years to miss their entire rookie year before even suiting up for a game. So, of course, Chet missed his rookie year with the foot. Luckily, we had a respite there. Cason Wallace, we drafted him. He played. He was great. The next season, we drafted Nikola Topic at with the 12th pick. He came into the draft with a torn ACL. We knew about it. We knew that he could go ahead and stay on our bench, get in our program, get in our facilities, and rehab with us. And so he's going to start playing this season. And our rookie this year, Thomas Sorber, tore his ACL, so he'll be out for the entire year. So yeah, man, just carry on the tradition. It's been an okay tradition. We've got a championship out of it, so it hasn't necessarily affected us too much. But it does kind of suck. It does kind of suck because we do have some financial things coming up that, if we would have been able to see what Sorber could have given us this year, we could have maybe had a clearer picture of how to move forward with our big man rotation, especially with, Hartenstein coming up for a player option or a team option for $28.5 million. And so that coincides with Jalen, with Dub and with Chet getting their extensions, and with SGA still making, $39, $40 million. And so if you're able to kind of see that Sorber was going to be a playable big, a playable player, you could have probably been like, hey, thank you for your services, Hartenstein, but, we're going to allow you to go ahead and test the market and get in free agency. But, I guess at this point, we have to we may have to spend a little bit of money, or we may have to sacrifice as far as like, hey, Hartenstein still needs to go. And we'll just hope that this second-year rookie will be good enough to carry the backup minutes and carry the minutes when he has to start alongside Chet and things like that. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the ramifications are on the court. I don't think there's much worry. We brought back our championship roster. We still got, Chet, Ihart, Big J Will, who put in quality minutes in the playoffs, Brandon Carlson, who shined in spots in the regular season. So we're fine on kind of all levels of the big man rotation. It does suck. I would have loved to see Sorber just because it feels like not only does he have the perfect play style for this team, offensively, defensively, the way he thinks the game, but also just he's so young and he has so much upside, and it would have been so much fun to watch him grow through this team. But the big thing is, just financially, it kind of puts you in a rock and a hard place because, that was kind of the sentiment. He's going to be the iHeart replacement. He's going to, he may not be able to replace exactly what iHeart did in production. The Moneyball reference, he can replace it in the aggregate. And gives you the flexibility, the financial flexibility to go on and sign $900 million in contracts from the max contracts extensions, and not really have to worry about it. Now it makes it a little bit not difficult, makes it a little bit frustrating though.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, and also just devastated for Sorber. He's had a rough go of it these last 12 months. Obviously the foot injury that cut his college not career, I guess, but his college season short. And then he was riding a high. He got drafted by the national champions, wasn't able to play in the summer league, and
national
championship, world champions, whatever.
Are we a college team?
Hey, I literally said the college season, so that's where my mind was. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to the proper terms for saying we're the champs.
Yeah.
We'll just say champ
We're just a one-time
for
champ,
now.
so we're kind of
For
getting
now,
used to it.
yeah. First of many, right? But yeah, and obviously, like he was at the place where he start training. Seems like ramping up, and for another setback to happen is really unfortunate. And like you think about players that have like double injuries, like the first one that comes to mind is John Wall, and like obviously like they're different players, but like John Wall, like I think he had an ACL injury, and then he fell, and then he messed up the other knee as well, and he had to miss like 2 years of basketball, and he was never the same. Obviously, John Wall was
Klay Thompson.
Yeah, and obviously like these guys are older and like longer into their career, but Thomas Sorber is a big man, and like whenever you have those lower body injuries as a big man, kind of doesn't matter how old you are. That's like Yao Ming was not in the league very long because of these same types of injuries, lower body injuries. So obviously he was bigger than Thomas Sorber was, and medicine and therapy and stuff like that has advanced since then. But yeah, it does give cause for concern in terms of like the Thunder's plans for Sorbers, the Thunder's plans financially, but in terms of on-court product, like I think we're going to pick the ball up rolling. We'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, definitely. Like again, Sorber probably wasn't going to get heavy minutes this year. He was probably not going to be a part of the rotation. It was just more of a let's see what we got with this guy. Let's see if this guy fits the system. Let's see if this guy fits the rotation. And then that would help us get a clearer view of what we can do financially into the offseason in 2026 and moving forward from there. And yeah, so there, and like you said, you are worried about his health as far as like, can he stay healthy on an NBA court? Because, you had the foot injury at Georgetown, you had the ACL injury now. And so those are 2 lower leg soft tissue type injuries that have occurred almost within a year. And so when it comes to a big man, especially a big man like Sorber, that's kind of very mechanical in how he moves, it is cause for concern. But with that said, we do have a third two-way spot open. This is not something that I've heard anybody kind of discuss, but as far as that third two-way spot, we did sign somebody to our summer league team who was already injured, was not going to play on summer league, but was a big man that many people thought. Some people had him as a first round grade. Mostly everybody had him like in the second round. But Victor Locken, he was somebody that plays a lot like the type of big man that we like. Somebody that could space the floor, somebody that can pass, somebody that can be very mobile. And so pretty good defensively. And so that third two-way spot now, I think, could be open for him grabbing that and, checking to see, maybe have a competition between like him and Brandon Carlson and see, which big man, survives that, and then see if he could be part of the rotation. So I think that third two-way spot, I do think Victor Locken has a chance now because of the injury to Sorber.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, we talk about. I can't just say Maxwell because whenever the Towers won here, they got mad at me for saying that. No Ceilings collectively was very high on Victor Locken, and obviously Steven. I said Steve. Wow, I don't remember last time I called him Steven. Dolan said that he was kind of speculating during the summer league that Locken was going to get that final two-way spot anyways. And like, who's on our two ways right now? Is it just Carlson and Barnheiser? We didn't sign the third one, did we?
Yeah. No,
okay.
we haven't.
Yeah, so I mean,
and remember, everybody wanted like after summer league.
Youngblood, man, come on. Yeah. Crazy shooter. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I can see it. I mean, if that was what they were looking at as a possibility, like if that's what people were speculating, like during the summer league, whenever we still had Sorber like in the wings ready to come on, then I think it makes even more sense to do it now. especially compared to some of the other big options that we could have had on our two-way team or that was on our summer league team. So I don't feel super strongly either way. I know some people are high on him. Like, hey, like if you want to bring him on, we'll see what he got. Fine with me. At the end of the day, it's a two-way spot. So
it's literally the 18th slot. 18 out of 18 on a team. So
yeah, so no, that's chill with me, man. I mean, there's always a possibility that the Thunder, try to keep that open and maybe reward somebody that's on the blue. Maybe they just have Lockett on the blue and he, plays his way into that two-way spot. Like, the Thunder have some flexibility with what they do with the two-way spot over the years. Sometimes they carry three going into the season. Sometimes they leave one open and, reward who deserves it. So we'll see.
We shall see. And so finally, the last thing that I have on the agenda is our boy Josh Giddey. He got paid, man. The standoff with Chicago is over. He got paid 4 years, $100 million. I'm happy for the kid. I know that. I know that he left out of here, and a lot of Thunder fans were like, "Yes, he's gone." I never necessarily felt that way. But I knew that the fit wasn't that great. And us getting Alex Caruso in that trade, chef's kiss. But yeah, congratulations to him. I hope, his second half last year was a little bit scary as far as like if he can, I know probably shooting, I think it was like 46% from three.
I think it was 42 or something.
I know I know that's probably not gonna hold up, but the rest of it, the way he took the reins, the way he took, on some games he basically took over. That Lakers game where he hit the game-winning half-court shot. Yeah, like those types of things, those types of, little views here and there of like possible superstardom, possible, all-star type player. If he continues that, man, that's going to be a cheap contract right there. That's going to be a contract that is going to be well worth its value, coming up in the future.
Not yet.
I'm happy for him.
You were right. I sold him short. He was shooting 45.7% from three post All-Star break.
So
yeah,
that would have worked in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, if he was able to do that. I was one of the ones that was, not saying like yes he's gone in terms of like just can't stand him. Like the fit was always weird. Like, ever since he was drafted, the fit was always weird. It was always a question. And it was, it was kind of a point of contention at some points. Like, whenever we lost to the Mavericks, one of the big glaring things, like, some other players didn't show up, but there was one thing that people was attacking on defense and, he wasn't contributing much on offense because they weren't guarding him on offense. It was just like it was giving everybody a get out of jail free card whenever they played against us. And, as you say, like swapping that with Alex Caruso, not only do you have somebody that you have to guard, a guy that can legitimately go out there and score like 20 points, off the bench for you on any given night, but also like one of the best defenders in the league, a guy that can genuinely give you 8 stocks in a playoff game. Like Josh Giddey just didn't have that for us. So, yeah, I mean, also like, the whole thing financially, I think that before he got traded, his projections was making like 30.5 million or something like that a year. I was never super comfortable paying him that. I think that 25 is fair, especially, if you're taking that post All-Star break and you're projecting, I think that 25 mil is a good number for him. And like, hey, I mean, congrats to him, and he got his bag. I mean, at this point, I think did Ben Simmons got his rookie extension, right? Okay, yeah. So money's gone up at this point. So I think Giddey, do you think he has the biggest contract of like all Australian players?
Australian? No, I'm pretty sure that Ben Simmons still has that because I think he signed a rookie, or he signed an extension after his rookie deal And then that's where it kind of cratered after that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Yeah, because I think he's only he's been in the league, Ben Simmons, maybe like 9 years, 8 or 9 years.
Oh yeah, he made 35 mil a year, 20 to 24. That's crazy. That's nuts.
That
Did
is
you see
crazy.
the latest news on him too? His
Yeah,
agent
man, that
dropped him.
his own agent was like, bro, if you're not gonna go ahead and sign for a minimum with a championship contending team in the New York Knicks, I'm done with you. Like the guy is he's just, pardon my French, but he's just mind fucked.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
I mean, he is, and I feel bad for a player like that. Like I feel bad, but you see the summertime videos, you see the summertime, and you see it in the off season stuff, and he's shooting from three. Listen, we just want the threat. Every team that Ben Simmons has ever played for just wants the threat. They don't necessarily want him making, it would be lovely, but if he shot 30% from three, I would love it. But they just want the threat. Just go out there and actually shoot the shot and see how many go in. But he never did. Like he's mind fucked. Like he's
And that is what was different from Giddey to Simmons. Like Simmons was obviously like an elite defender, like in his prime. But Giddey was actually a willing shooter. Like whenever he got the ball, he would shoot it. So yeah, but no, like I was saying, shout out to Giddey. Like obviously he's the best player Australia is. Like he's on track to be the best player Australia's ever had, like come out of it. And he's still young, man. Like what is he now? He's like 23, 22? Yeah.
23?
Something like that. Yeah. So I mean he
was 18. He was 18 when we first
started. He's still very young, and he came into the league one of the best passers. He's shown that he's a great rebounder, and also the fact that the Bulls gave Patrick Williams 4 for 90 the year prior to that. Josh Giddey on 4 for 100 is much better contract.
Yeah. If you look at asset wise, that is a much better asset than Patrick Williams is.
I'll tell you what, I think the Bulls come to play the Thunder late in March. That'd be a fun game to go to.
That would be a fun game to go to.
I mean, maybe you might be able to go to that game. We'll have to find out.
The weather, the weather should be nice. We shouldn't have any issues with like travel if you wanted to travel to that game.
It'd be good to play basketball outside that weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it sounds good, man. I don't know what you're cooking.
Yeah.
I smell it. I smell what you're cooking, but I don't know exactly what you're cooking.
I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, So, yeah, Alex, awesome job on the hosting. You were efficient too, man. Like right at 40 minutes almost before you got to get off here.
Thank you.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
It's almost like you've done this before.
Tried to get it all. Yeah, tried to get it all out, man.
Oh, awesome. Well, Alex, I appreciate you coming on. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys tapping in, whether you're here right now with us or posthumously. I haven't said it in a long time. So whether you're here with us posthumously, retroactively, we appreciate you guys. Go ahead and leave a comment down below talking about what you think about the whole Kawhi situation. Just in 2 words, how would you describe the Kawhi situation? Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when we go live. And we will be back on Friday with a banger of a game. Okay. Like I talked about, we got to get creative in the off season with lack of news. Let me tell you, I came up with a banger of a game. I'm gonna have to modify it because there's gonna be more people on. I was just asking for 2 people last Friday. Now I have 4 gonna be on here, so it's gonna be awesome. Alex is gonna be there. Tierney's gonna be there. Cone, Dolan's gonna be there. It's gonna be a great time. So get your popcorn ready for Friday. We're gonna have a fun Thunder NBA trivia game, and you guys
a 5-pod.
What is it? A pentapod.
Pentapod or quinpod.
That sounds demonic. Okay. Anyways, with that being said, hope everybody has a great night. God bless. Hoop when you can. And as always,